Hello, good morning. We are going to be waiting for a stream to start loading. Usually, we begin with you guys letting me know if you can hear me, if you can see me. So, please let me know if the live stream is on. Please tell me if you are able to hear me, first of all, but also let me know if you can see me. This is going to be quite the live stream because I decided to do it uh, because I just published a video talking about the friendship between. Um, I made a video talking about the friendship between uh, Russia and the United States, and that video was made before what we're going to be talking about today. And I just think that it's really interesting because things are even getting a lot more interesting. Uh, I'm going to be showing you the video that was played by the news, and then we're going to dissect it and we're going to talk about what it means. And I think that for a lot of people, it's nothing unusual, but some people who have been very, I guess, gung ho for Ukraine. Well, maybe it'll come back up. Maybe it won't. We will see. But the main thing that I wanted to talk about today is that what's happened this morning correlates with what I posted yesterday, and I don't think, honestly, that it could have been any better because the way that the president of the United States talks to the president of Ukraine was absolutely perfect. And he puts him in his place. This is something that a lot of the people in the United States have been asking for. They've been saying, like, hey, we don't want this guy. Okay, let me know if I'm back. Let me know again. Let's restart this stream. Hello and welcome. Everybody, please do comment in the chat if you can hear me, if you can see me. How is the sound? If everything is fine. We had a like a glitch. Okay. Um, that's unfortunate. Maybe I. this is this is pretty sad. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and try my best to put on the video. This is the video that actually went viral. It's from Forbes Breaking News. Uh, 4 million views, almost 5 million views, maybe even 5 million views now. Um, we'll pop it up here. Yeah, for some reason, the connection this morning is absolutely horrible. And I really wanted to talk about this because it's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I've never seen a president just flat out talk to another president the way that it happened. And it'll be really, really unfortunate if we can't get this video up. Okay. It looks like there's gonna be a problem here. I think it's gonna have to lag a little bit more before it gets better. Um, Let me reset my connection here, and then we'll get started again because I can't load the video that I wanted to show you guys, and that's basically not good. Yeah, it's not loading. Um, what else can I do to try to fix this? I think what happened is that the video got taken down by YouTube. Oh, here it is, maybe. The video that I'm trying to open, uh, it's the main video and it's the only one that doesn't load. So I'm gonna try to find another one, and we'll see what happens. The videos where something's gone completely wrong with my connection. All right, so I'm gonna just improvise. And guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. While I'm trying to get my connection to work, feel free to ask me any questions. What we're talking about today is the complete destruction. We would call it medically like ripping a new one. Donald Trump essentially rips a new one on the president of Ukraine, letting him know that, hey, you need to accept a peace deal. And the vice president of the United States didn't like the attitude of the president of Ukraine and just goes off on him. And that's what we're trying to get to look at. And the majority of the United States has been begging for this moment, and it's never been this raw. The video is absolutely raw, and they even know that they're doing something that's out of pocket, like never been done before. And the news were just eating it up. Everybody was absolutely silent. And if you think that was staged, I don't think it was staged at all. You can see the discomfort of the Ukrainian's face. He was just grinding his teeth. So there's no way that it was staged, because the discomfort of the Ukrainian guy, he's usually always very talkative. He's always asking for money. He's always saying, you guys have to do what we say. And he got shut down. So I don't think it was staged. He was absolutely destroyed in the White House. And the truth is, this is what the Americans needed to do. The American president needed to do this. And it's even more important that the Russians are going to be playing this so much on the Russian media. You can expect the Russian news to absolutely blast this. Yeah. I mean, The reality is that it was bound to happen. It was bound to happen, and the good thing is that it did happen. Here, let's see. As I'm trying to continue loading a video, I guess I could just describe it, uh, but it was absolutely hilarious. Please let me know if you're watching. Let me know where you're watching from. Uh, Here's a question. Ivan asks, "Do you think Europe will join a war for real?" I don't think that Europe no country in Europe has the population and has the will to fight right now. Ukraine was in a unique position where it was pushed by NATO, it was armed by NATO, and its population was very easily brainwashed. So Ukraine was easily brainwashed. Other European countries are not easily brainwashed because they are not actually in the border against Russia. And it was an interesting situation. Ukraine has always been a place that gets controlled as a puppet, and well, that's the outcome. Let's see. Yeah, so everybody knows that Zelensky was a frontman. Every president in every country is a frontman. Whether he's a strong frontman, an independent frontman, it doesn't matter. A president, a dictator, a tyrant, a king, they're all there and they're all playing their role, guys. Don't go too deep into the rabbit hole. This is nothing more than the usual. It's just another Saturday morning here in Siberia and the rest of the world. Hello, David. Good day. And I absolutely disagree. So, if Zelensky was not in charge of anything, he's a legitimate president to the lunatics in Ukraine. Because if he wasn't a legit president or nothing, they would have already revolted. Now Ukraine only has a little bit time left because after Ukrainian people watch what they told the Ukrainian, and after they continue to take losses, his people are going to rebel against him if they don't lose the war by then. So that's just not how it works, man. Unfortunately, he does have some sort of power where he's from. You guys need to understand that if he didn't have any power at all, his country wouldn't have been reduced to almost half of its landmass, okay? Because they're fighting for a reason. I'm not going to get into that, but he's just an absolute failure of a leader. Don't get it confused. He's a failure of a leader, but he's still a leader, okay? It is that's just how it is. It's unfortunate, but that's just how it is. And when I say it's unfortunate, it's because I live in Russia and the conflict continues to go on. And the people who fight this conflict come from where I'm from. Okay? The Siberian territory is the one that bleeds the most. Hello to Yambol. This is Bulgaria. I actually lived in Bulgaria, and Yambol is a place where I lived. That's pretty cool. By the way, people are letting us know where you're watching from. Continue to please let me know where you guys are watching from. I think we have about 4 or 5 continents so far. Um, and yeah, it's been a rough morning. It's been a rough morning because the internet connection is not working, and we're trying to show you the hilarious discussion that the American president had with the Ukrainian president. And let's see. Okay, we're gonna be playing uh we're gonna be playing something now. I got something to load. We're gonna listen to it. And let me just set this up really quickly. Hello to everybody who's watching from Canada, a neighbor of the United States. I hope you guys are staying warm. Canada has a similar weather to us, and so you guys understand what we're going through when we're talking about Celsius and how cold it is. Let's see if this plays.
Our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners.
Okay. Here we go. I think I have it. Maybe. Oh, it's not gonna. Hello to Pennsylvania. Yeah. All right. It's absolutely not loading again, and it's so frustrating because this is absolute meme gold. There has been so many memes made already, and I'm just trying to freaking show this. And it is just not working out right now. I'll try to work this out really quickly. Let's see here. You know what? I have an idea. I'm gonna have to double up on this. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, let me know if you guys can. Hey, thank you so much, Alex, for the support. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let me know if you can see what's on the screen, okay? I think we finally managed to get it. This is going to be only a clip. You can see it's 7 minutes. We're going to dissect it little by little. This to me is probably peak politics. This is the kind of politics you want to see, is just people talking to each other like they don't know that they're presidents.
Broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems? bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's
I
respectful
will answer.
to come to the Oval Office
I
of the
will
United
answer.
States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Okay, so right there, you can see that the Vice President of the United States directly tells him, you have a problem. A lot of people have, I as a military guy, we've been saying that they've been losing so many men and they've had a man shortage for so long, and nobody wanted to admit it. The West was literally hiding the fact that Ukraine was running out of human bodies. And the Vice President of the United States flat out tells them on the screen, by the way, you know this is happening, and you're forcing people, conscripting them into the military. And Zelensky is doubling back like, hey, whoa, what's happening? This is something that has never been seen in politics. People just talking straight to people and treating them like human beings. JD Vance, if you don't know, is actually a veteran, a Marine veteran like myself. He wasn't an infantry or a combat Marine, but he has enough discipline in his body to retain what he learned in the Marine Corps. And I'm lagging. I think I'm gone. Hey, can you guys hear me? I think my... Okay, let me try to get back here. There's so many technical problems today. This is crazy. I think it's because of the type of stream that we're doing. It's always a little bit of bad luck. So, yeah, hopefully we're back here. I'm gonna put the video back on, and by the way, thank you so much, Alex Glantz, for the support. I truly appreciate it, and we're gonna continue watching this American interview that has happened. Here we go. Really, really cool. This is a real American style conversation.
Sure. First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on
position
this
to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're going to feel very
you will
good.
Feel influenced.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
That is the classic. That is the classic. Oh, you'll see. The president of Ukraine, the clown, actually tried to tell the president of the United States, you're not at war now, but you're going to feel it later. This is lunacy. This is crazy. And right away, the president of the United States tells him, wait. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what we're going to feel. Because the president of Ukraine has a history of bullying other countries while he's begging for money, while he's asking for weapons, while he's forcing the European Union into a conflict, while he's almost starting World War III. He's been told in his place right there, what are you talking about? This is not your place to tell us what we're going to feel. So let me know in the comments right now, if you're watching, if you thought that was a positive or a good thing from the United States side to put him in his place in this part of the interview. We're going to continue watching, but please let me know if that is something that you agree with. That is a good thing, to be shutting down these lunatics who want to talk about politics and weapons and all these things, when in America, we'll get into it later, but we're actually tired of this. We just lost a war in Afghanistan that I fought in, a 20-year war. A lot of people wouldn't call it a war, but people died, and that's just how it works. And we have this lunatic coming and saying, oh, you'll see, the Russians are going to come for you. It doesn't work anymore. We're later going to be hearing Trump say, hey, Putin is not a bad guy. And check this out. You guys just have to continue watching. Let's continue watching here. Sorry that I'm talking too much.
Will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't
have
have the cards right now. With us, you start having
not
cards.
playing cards.
Right now, you don't.
I'm
You're
very
playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're gambling
I'm the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
what do you think
You're
about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's
with
backed
all
you
respect to your
far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Now, you have to understand, President Zelensky came to the United States during President Biden's presidency. Remember, he was in the United States bullying the American politicians into sending more weapons, into sending more money. And this is something that you're not going to be, they're not going to be acting the same way. Okay? He never says thank you. And he did, in fact, push for the other government to win. And J.D. Vance absolutely throws it in his face. J.D. is not the type of guy that's going to BS and go around the bush. You know, he's going to tell him right away, like, hey, you're bullshitting us, guys. This is a bunch of lunacy that you're talking. And it just warms my heart because as a Marine, you love to see it. You love to see these animals being called out for what they are. So let's continue watching here. Let me know if you're enjoying this because I had to watch this a few times. I love it.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's
Can I-
in big
can I-
trouble.
can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this.
I,
You have a damn
we-
good chance of
we are
coming out
staying-
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
allowed.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
allowed.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said thank
stupid
you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted
We gave
for
you
your
military equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about West?
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
You invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course.
I love that reply for President Trump when he's like, when the Zelensky says, oh yeah, we were supposed to lose in 3 days. And then Trump says, yeah, maybe less if you didn't have the support of NATO. Now understand, President Trump did send weapons to Ukraine. President Trump was involved in the proxy war. And we're going to talk about what I think about this a little bit later. But just understand that he is essentially cutting him off. He's cutting him off. Zelensky doesn't shut the hell up. And he's acting like he's the king of the world. I feel that the European Union kind of elevated this clown, this comedian, to the status that he thinks he has. But in the United States, finally, when's the last time you've ever seen a world leader, a country leader talk to another country leader this way? I can't remember the last time this has happened. He's essentially saying everything that we've ever wanted a politician to say. And understand, yes, so Hayes Kasaki, yes, Trump is not innocent in this. And we understand this. But you guys should not go into that hole. We all know who's been sending weapons. But right now, the president of the Russian Federation, President Vladimir Putin, wants to work with the United States and make a peace. It is not up to us to decide what the hell Russia should do. I think President Putin is a person who trusts the word more of President Donald Trump than President Biden. This is actually a fact. Okay, by the way, people say that I look like the clown. maybe because of my haircut. Let's address that right now. Maybe it's my fade, but I think that my beard is fuller. I don't have this huge nose. My nose is just a little small. And yeah, let's continue looking at the video. Here we go.
Yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I tell you.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of times
that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards.
Thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on soldiers.
He doesn't shut up.
It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want to see.
What the hell? I'm sorry to cut this off again, but he never shuts the hell up. Holy crap. It is even hard to watch sometimes because he's like a little child.
Fire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I wanted this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
With guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't with me. That wasn't with me. That was with a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful.
Okay, this is the part that we need to talk about. And everybody knows that every president, even before probably Obama, was sending weapons to Ukraine. Everybody knows that, and I'm going to tell you a quick story. So I got out of the United States Marine Corps in 2013. In 2013, the men that I trained, like Marines that I trained, went on to probably train the Ukrainian military. We have exercises with European countries. And I think that the United States was already not only training the people in 2014, but luckily for me, I got out before they started actually physically training them and sending weapons in the open. Now, we know that President Trump sent weapons and he's open about what he did. A lot of people would not have the guts to say that. And don't you find it interesting that President Vladimir Putin still wants to talk with the President Donald Trump, even though this has happened? You have to understand the way proxy wars work. Okay, you have to understand that superpowers, because now Russia has proven itself to be a superpower, superpowers cannot directly go to war because you have clowns like Zelensky probably instigating World War III. Now, what's the problem with Donald Trump sending weapons in the past? And maybe he'll do it before the war ends. The problem is, well, this is going to go on for longer. But with this interview, the way that Zelensky spoke with Donald Trump here, I don't see any more Donald Trump, the war hawk. Who knows? I don't control him, but I do care about this topic because, again, I live in Russia. I live in a small town in Siberia, and we have a lot of heroes from the Ukrainian war who gave their lives, and I don't want the conflict to continue because I have a brother-in-law, I have a father-in-law. So let's continue watching the video.
Because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry, here.
It's going to be a tough deal to make. Because the attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do you do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam.
Okay, this is what I'm talking about, why President Vladimir Putin and President Donald Trump, why they have a good relationship. Donald Trump, the President of the United States, openly tells the news that it was a giant hoax, Russia, and that President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, was with him in this, right? The Democrats formulated a plan to do some Russia hoax, acting like Russia was involved rigging the elections, and they didn't. They didn't get involved, and this is why President of the Russian Federation and the United States are tied. It is not going to be the last time that the President of the United States refers to the President of Russia as not a bad person because of what they went through together. Check it out. We're going to continue listening here. And by the way, look at the body mannerisms of the clown, the Joker, the little troll over there is like wanting to come out of his skin.
And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that. All right, we'll see what we can do about putting it together.
So we're also going to get to the part where he gets asked about a suit. Okay, we're going to continue watching here. I'm going to get the next clip ready for you guys. It is absolutely hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious how he gets called out for not wearing a damn suit. And the funniest part about it is how he answers. Lunacy, absolute lunacy. Let's go ahead and look at some of these comments actually. Let's see. Can we look at the comment section? Okay, let's look at the comment section and let's see what the people actually believe. So let's go this to newest. We have about almost 20,000. Okay, here we go. It's 100% master plan of Trump and President Zelensky to destroy Russia. A lot of people believe that. I don't buy that. Like, I don't think that the United States, the president of the United States is out to destroy Russia, because you can't destroy Russia. This is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Let's see. Let's go to top comments. Okay, let's go top comments here. As a historian, I have to say it's incredibly rare to get this kind of insight into a failed diplomatic meeting. Absolutely a failed diplomatic meeting, and we love to see it. in about 20 years, someone will make a historic movie about something and reenact this meeting. Everybody who watches will think it's fiction. Exactly. Everybody who watched this will think it wasn't real because literally the guy got ripped a new asshole. I'm sorry about my words, but Zelensky got ripped a new asshole on live television, and we all needed to see it. The Russians are going to be blasting this through the media, guys. Believe me, here in Russia, we have a lot of people who are on the Telegram, and the news spreads out so fast. And the people are going to be showing this in so many different ways. Let's go ahead and go see the clip about the suit. Let's see. Here we go, guys. Okay, I hope hopefully we can see it here. Let me know if you can hear. Can we do a sound check, guys? Please let me know if we're on the sound all right again. I don't want to play it without the sound, but it is hilarious seeing a world leader get his ass ripped in person or in live television. This is the stuff that we dream of. And yes, I'm gonna be a little bit more vulgar this time because I absolutely despise the Ukrainian leader. He has been such a bad thing for the entire planet, and I don't like him at all.
Mr. President, I've got two questions for you. You think ultimately your legacy will be the peacemaker and not the president that led this country into another war and ended foreign wars? And I've got a question.
I hope it will. I mean, I hope I'm going to be remembered as a peacemaker. This would be a great thing if we could do this. I'm doing this to save lives more than anything else. Second is to save a lot of money, but I consider that to be far less important. So I hope I'm going to thank you, Brian, for that question. It was a nice question. I hope I'll be known and recognized as a peacemaker. This would be a great thing to solve. This is a very dangerous situation. You know, this could lead to a third world war. This was headed in the wrong direction. If this election were lost, if we didn't win this election, and by the way, we won it by a lot. That was a mandate. We won every swing state. We won the popular vote by millions and millions of votes. We won everything. The districts, you look at the areas of red, take a look at a map. This was a big mandate, and this was one of the things. I said, we're going to get this thing settled. If we didn't win, I think this could have very well ended up in a third world war, and that would not have been a good situation. What was your second question?
And my second question for President Zelensky. Why don't you wear a suit? Why don't you wear a suit? You're the highest level in this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if you do own a suit?
Yeah, problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not
Really?
respecting
I don't have
the
such.
office.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
Okay.
Yes, maybe one.
Maybe something like this.
something like
Yes,
yours.
sir.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Maybe something better. I don't know. We will see. Maybe something cheaper than Thank you.
President Trump was
Okay, so he tells them there, like, hey, why don't you wear a suit? You're in the Oval Office. And one thing that I dislike, how he answers, like, hey, maybe I will wear one, but I'll wear it when the war is over, and I'll probably get a better one than you, maybe a cheaper one than you. But the thing is, the guy is not a professional at all. Okay, the president of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, his country is in a war as well, but he's always well dressed and presentable. And then we have this lunatic coming to the United States White House, and he's dressed like he's some freaking hobo or like some guy, some hipster. I don't know what the heck he's wearing. This is crazy. And to reply like this in front of the president and the vice president, and you can even hear the vice president laughing at the question because, yeah, you look like a clown. Okay, let's see. There's another really good video. There's another really good video where President Trump talks about what he just went through. 1 second. Here we go, guys. Let me know if the sound is good. I'll try to find another one here.
Thank you very much. So
Okay. Yeah, Marco Rubio's face, guys, was like this. He's like done with life. He can't stand that guy either. So let's go here, guys. This is after the meeting. We're gonna see what President Donald Trump has to say about this.
I just want to say we're going down to Florida. We have a big event tomorrow night. A great turnaround in a little more than 30 days, but he's looking to go on and fight. We're looking to for peace. We're not looking to go into a 10-year war and play games. We want peace. And it was just my impression that if we do that, if we sign up, he's looking for something that I'm not looking for. He's looking to go on and fight. We're looking to end the death. 2,000 people died this week. Soldiers, more than that, but 2,000 approximately people died this week. Young Ukrainians and Russians. And somebody would say, why do you care about Ukraine and Russian soldiers? I care about them. I care about everybody. And we're not doing that. Now, if we don't do anything, he's going to have to make peace, but he's dealing with a very weak set of cards. If we sign, he's dealing with a very strong set of cards, and then he doesn't want to make peace. So that's where we are. It's very simple.
What's happening now, militarily speaking, and I'm gonna break it down for you guys. Thank you so much for continuing to watch. I'm gonna break it down to you what happens if the clown in Ukraine continues the conflict. The Russian military is capable of handling logistics for the years to come. The Russian military can outproduce, and it's been showing that it can outproduce a combined Western force providing weapons for Ukraine. So if Ukraine runs out of military-aged men, then the Russians can take more territory, leading to maybe the Kharkiv Oblast. I wouldn't suggest them to cross the Dnieper, but Donald Trump understands that if there's no more Ukrainian fighters, then Ukraine can be essentially taken over completely, because it takes 18 years, guys. It takes 18 years to make a military-aged male. And this is why I believe the President of the United States is like, enough is enough. You know, he's trying to convince the Ukrainian clown that if you continue fighting, you won't have a country left. And this is the hugest blunder I've ever seen of any country. This is the worst diplomacy I've ever seen. The Ukrainians had so many opportunities to make peace with the Russia and respect the Russian speakers in Russia, respect the Russian faith in Ukraine. They had so many opportunities to respect the Russians living in Ukraine, but they absolutely failed at doing that. And we're not going to get into that any further, but there was many opportunities for Ukraine to remain a country as it was, but they didn't take the opportunities. Now it's even worse, and the President of the United States is letting the President of Ukraine know, you need to take the deal now or else you're going to cease to exist as a country. And they should not cross the Dnieper, and I'll tell you why they shouldn't cross. The Russian Empire, the Soviet Union, and now the Russia today has had a very weak western flank. And the Dnieper River has been very hard to cross in modern times. So if there is ever a future war, the Dnieper is a perfect boundary to put against the Russian enemies. This is just militarily speaking, you don't want to cross the Dnieper. And another thing, you want Ukraine to exist west of the Dnieper because you won't have any NATO there. Russia would never allow this. And another thing is, Russia has Belarus and it has Ukraine as a buffer state. Ukraine tried to go to the west and try to get controlled by the west, but Russia wanted none of it. And this is why when Russia wins this war, it's not going to allow the Ukraine to be owned by the West. Okay, understand that if Ukraine has a surrender against Russia, there is no way that Russia will accept any deal other than the one it wants. So, it's also, yes, very expensive to manage all of that land. And all of the resources are on the east side. If you want to talk about resources, Russia is going to be taking the best part of Ukraine, and it never had to do it, but Ukraine never wanted to look for peace. Okay? That's just how it is, and it's the truth. People who want Odessa to be part of Russia don't understand how Russia is. Like, there's a lot of pro-Russians who are extremists, but if you look at the way the president of the Russian Federation talks, he's not talking about wanting to own Kiev. He's not talking about wanting to own Odessa. He just wants his people to be not persecuted by the Ukrainian government. Remember, the Russian Federation is not an aggressive country. If they wanted to, they could have deleted so many cities. If you see the Gaza Strip, it's been absolutely deleted. What do you think Russia could have done to the cities in Ukraine? And I'm saying this because a lot of you guys want Russia to continue the war and take Odessa and go to war and take Kiev, but you guys are a little bit crazy. That will cost too many Russian lives. I don't want my children to have to go fight in the Ukraine war 20 years from now. I was in a war in Afghanistan where father and son were fighting. And so remember, the Russian Federation could flatten Ukraine if it wanted to, but it is not a country that flattens cities and is not a country that kills civilians. So I know with my heart that Russia could have flattened Ukraine if it wanted to, but the patience of the Russian Federation, you should be proud and happy about it. Let's see what happens if I disconnect this. Okay. Yeah, this whole talk about Constantinople too, it's so weird, guys. It's so weird to me when some of you guys speak like this, because do you know how much men would have to die and how many people have to suffer? Russia has a lot of abundance of land and abundance of resources, and it needs its population to grow. Okay, the war, you guys need to relax about the war. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna be showing you a funny clip here. It's part of my most recent video. Let me see. My most recent video talks about how the Russian Federation became or could be friends with here we go. Something's been happening with my YouTube. I don't think that my notifications are getting sent out to people anymore. I think I've been shadow banned, but it's really funny and it's okay. So look at this, guys. A lot of people know this guy, and he's probably the most famous Russian who hates Russia. And the reality is setting into these people. Look.
Trump has recently said that Ukraine should not have started the war. Oh my God. And supposedly Trump doesn't rule out the possibility of Ukraine giving up territories as part of this peace deal. So long story short, it's basically a total victory for Russia from what it seems like right now. And as an anti-Putin Russian, I'm not happy to admit this in the slightest, but at this...
So, even the Russians who hate Russia and hate Russians are admitting that it's a victory for Putin. It's absolutely awesome to see the meltdown of the anti-Russian Russians. The anti-Russian Russians are melting down because Russia is going to win in this conflict, and Russia might be unsanctioned or at least seeing eye to eye. What a lot of people don't know is that because of this conflict, Russia has secured itself as a world superpower. Russia has secured itself as a world superpower, and now the United States is forced to see it at eye level. Before, Russia was not respected by the United States, unfortunately, but now it is forced to look at Russia as an equal. In the past, Russia was not an equal to the United States. It was a brand new country. Remember, the USSR fell not so long ago. We're talking about the 90s. And Russia had to prove itself. And now it has. So, I would like to take questions from the audience. I drink my water from a bowl. Go ahead and ask any questions. I've been very reserved in the past on live streams, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys may have. Now, like I said, Russia is now in a position where it's going to be getting a deal that it's a win for Russia. Russia will never accept a deal that does not benefit Russia. No, I was not a lifer in the Marines because the Afghanistan war for me was an absolute tragic failure, and I didn't join the Marines to lose a war, and we ended up losing the war anyways. But I had buddies who died, and they died for nothing because they were dishonored by the president then, Joe Biden. So no, I was not a lifer. But I still have friends in the Marines that I was in the trenches with. Yeah, so they see me if somebody sees the stream and I'm drinking from a bowl. Oh, in Russia we have no cups. This is a funny joke that he made. Am I concerned that my comments might not be taken well by FSB? Listen, anybody who lives in Russia understands that you run a risk of saying anything wrong. So no, I am not scared of saying something that might be seen wrong, because I know that I say the right things because I speak the truth. And I speak with common sense. And in Russia, common sense and the truth is a little bit more respected. So no, not at all. And yes, I have for sure, I know FSB watches because I'm a foreigner who makes videos in Russia. This is how it works. But it doesn't matter. And now we're in a situation where the United States is a little bit more aligned with the values of Russia. So actually, what I'm saying now is beneficial for both countries. Okay, so I'm not really worried. Have you ever seen weird things in Afghanistan, heard weird stories? I saw the worst things that you can see. I saw Taliban raping little boys, and I saw the Taliban raping animals. And this is why I'm happy that I went to fight in Afghanistan. A lot of people say, especially Russians, ignorant Russians. I will tell you something. The one thing that I hate about Russia is ignorant Russians. Ignorant Russians will say, oh, why did you go fight in Afghanistan when I have Afghan veteran friends from Russian Federation? So I fought in the same country that their grandfathers fought in. And I saw a lot of bad things happen to people in Afghanistan, and that justified the war for me because I care about children. I make videos about feeding children in Russia, so yes. Can I ask Lou? Claudia Sheinbaum really find her impressive. She's not anti-BRICS and is very pro Mexico. Yes. So I don't think that Mexico has an opportunity to join BRICS right now, but Mexico does have a positive view about BRICS. Did you hear about the hot mic moment that is difficult to hear about? Zelensky apparently called JD Vance a... No, I'll look it up now, guys. I'll look it up now. I'll see if Zelensky did call the vice president a suka. So, I don't see anything where he's calling him that. Yeah, right now, what I think that is important is that Russians and Americans should understand that the world is a better place if they're at least neutral. Okay, in my last video, a lot of people cannot fathom a reality where the Russia's diplomacy and American diplomacy kind of meet in the same place. Daniel, do you think that Russia will talk the US to leave them alone with BRICS and worry about themselves? I don't think that Russia cares what the United States does anymore. They are equals and they can act like it. Hi Daniel, how's the house project going? Hey, by the way, I'm going to be doing a video today about my house project, but a lot of people ask about it, but they forget that I live in Siberia and we've been in winter for the last 3 or 4 months. Guys, I'm going to continue on the house project when the snow melts and we get better weather, and I'm going to be doing a video today and live streaming tomorrow from location, okay? So stay tuned for that. Any more questions? Okay, if he says it in the video, let's see here, 1 second. This guy seems to
The Oval Office meeting that devolved into a train wreck between Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and Volodymyr Zelensky has taken an unexpected twist. There are now many accusations that Zelensky may have cursed J.D. Vance to his face. Of course, Democrats and people who don't like Trump and Vance are praising the move on. So social media users picked up on that.
Disagree that you've had problems bringing people in stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a project.
Oh yeah.
Seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a project.
Okay, it does sound like he says suka, but who knows exactly if that's actually Zelensky or not, but you can hear suka, like a lot of, and you know, Zelensky wants to act, I don't know, but he's like this, suka. Sorry, I guess maybe he did do it. It's hilarious that he did it, and it's a good thing that he did it, because as soon as somebody tells this to JD Vance will have an even worse view about Zelensky. So it's a perfect thing that it got captured, and it's a good thing that that Zelensky said it. I'm actually happy. That is probably the best thing he could have done, is called the Vice President of the United States, JD Vance, a suka, because now the Vice President of the United States will hear about it and absolutely hate him. So my Russian right now, I understand a lot of it. I can read it. I can speak some of it. And by the way, it's just how it works. I'm currently trying still to learn. Wow, this is hilarious. So, do you feel that we should return to early 2000s era of diplomacy? I think that in the 2000s, this was President Bush being pretty good friends with the Russian Federation. The Russian Federation was a new country, maybe like 10 years old, right? Remember, Russian history is very old overall, but the new Russian Federation is a baby country. It is a new country, and it has proven itself in the last almost 30 years of its existence that it is a superpower. The Russian Federation used to be nothing. My wife is a Soviet, my father-in-law is a Soviet, my brother-in-law is a Soviet. They grew up in the 90s in Russia, and they know how hard it was for the Russians to make their country. So when we're talking about the power of the Russian Federation, it's a new thing. Actually, everybody who I live with in real life, they're all Soviets. Isn't that funny? It's weird to think that my wife is a Soviet. This is the thing that a lot of people don't know. a lot of the people in Russia are not even Russians. They're Soviets, and a lot of them are proud Soviets. Of course, they are Russians, but they are, and they feel like they're of another time period, I guess. Let's see. Yes, we have 150 viewers. Hopefully the stream has been enjoyed by many of you guys. Please, let's try to get to 150 likes. I would really appreciate your support, guys. Please do give like to the stream because it helps the channel out, and it also pushes the notifications to other people who are watching. Here's a question: why do you drink water out of a bowl? Okay, I'll explain why I do it. I'll be right back. No, that's fine. All right. So they ask, why do I drink out of a bowl? In my videos, I've shown you that I collect water from a natural spring. Okay, I only drink water from a natural spring. All of the water that I get for free from the mountains. And what I do is I put a huge bowl like this and I fill it up and I drink it throughout the day. I drink maybe 4 or 5 of these. Hydration is key. And yes, so what I do is I put it in my bowl. And it's just easier to drink this way, guys. It's not because Russia has no cups. It's because I love drinking water like this. It's much easier, and I don't like these huge cups. I think they're super like girly. I'm not like I don't want to be so anti-feminism or whatever, but like I don't like these women cups that the women have and they suck on it from a straw from the top. I'm a man and I drink from like this. I'm a man. I don't have and I only drink beer or other drinks from a krug or a big cup. This is for other types of drinking. This is water. Anyways, he says, you are the first guy I see drink like this, bro. Well, by the way, in Mexico, a lot of Mexicans, because I'm Mexican American, we drink from things that look like cup bowls. Okay, we have carritas and they're a little bit smaller than this, but they're essentially bowl cups. A lot of cultures have bowl cups, and this is just my take on it. Not a problem. Привет. Привет. Vasilich? Who's Vasilich? Hey, take it easy, Wayne. Thank you so much for joining us. So right now I'm going to ask you guys a question, and I want to see the chat. I want to read the chat. I'm going to be polling. And I would like for everybody to answer in chat. If you can please answer in chat. Did you watch Did you guys watch it? So I'm starting a poll, and I know that we watched it together, guys, but I want to know, comment in the comment section, or let us know if you've already watched the full interview, guys. Please let me know if you've watched the full interview. I would like... Thank you so much for the donation, brother. I really appreciate you, man. It really motivates me to continue going with this channel, and it really motivates me to continue streaming, because the streams actually are probably the only way that the channel is being monetized right now. So this really helps out a lot. Please, guys, vote right now if you watched the full interview, because if you haven't, there's a lot of sections that we missed, and we're going to be visiting some of the ones that we missed. I personally watched all of it. It's hilarious because I want to look at the body language of the clown. The clown has hilarious body language. Okay, we're going to be going to... We're going to be going and looking at the whole...
And now I'm talking with...
For all the people who didn't watch it, we're going to rewatch some of the most important parts here. Please stay tuned, guys. We're going to be watching some of the most important parts again. And the reason why we're going to do it again is we might have missed something, but I want you now to pay attention to the way that Zelensky's acting. Don't worry so much about what he's saying. Just worry about how he's moving and reacting, okay? Before we get into that... sorry. Let's see here. Wasn't Zelensky an actor? With the cameras rolling, he's dismantled himself like that. Yes, yes. It was not that he was just an actor. He was like a comedy skit actor. And then he became... he was in a movie where... This is where it gets weird, guys. Okay, let me see. Here, I'm going to show you. He was in a movie. Thank you so much, by the way, for the question, Chemo. I'm gonna break it down for you how it happened, okay? So he was in a movie called Servant of the People. In this movie, he is essentially a teacher, and he is a teacher who gets recorded by a student acting what he would do if he was a president of Ukraine. And then people see that video clip, it goes viral, and he turns into the president of Ukraine. But before this, he was on comedy skits. He was like literally a clown, a jester. And so let's go look at that actually. I'm going to pop up some videos for you so you can see him in his natural state. Let's see. He did stand-up comedy as well. But the majority of the people like to see him in memes. So here we go. This is the president of Ukraine dancing. There he is, the clown. I had to take the sound off, but he was a jester. He was a clown. When I'm calling him a clown, is essentially what his job was being a clown. So I hope, Chemo, that you learned a little bit more about the president of Ukraine and why we're calling him a clown. It's going to be because of that, his history of just being a clown. Now we're going to be looking at the full interview again, because I want you guys to remember, pay attention on how he sits, how he's acting, his mannerisms. This is one thing that really pisses me off.
My friends in Poland, and they are worried that you align yourself too much with Putin. What's your message for them?
Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, "Hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal?" It doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America. And for the good of the world, I'm aligned with the world. And I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred. And I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So It's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Hey, I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden, of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied it, our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now the President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact
2015.
2014.
2014 and
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
That's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, yeah, what the situation the same.
That's one of the early parts of the interview or the talk between them, and we didn't see this last time, guys. But the truth is, he's trying to act the victim. His victim mentality is saying, oh, we lost this, we lost that, we've done this, we've done this. All of these different things that used to work, but they didn't work on this meeting with them. It is somewhat superficial seeing fellow Americans on this bandwagon when they supported the proxy war in Ukraine previously. I enjoyed the events. Yeah, it's a little bit scary for me that people in America could be brainwashed to supporting a proxy war against a superpower. Thank you so much for the donation, brother. I appreciate that. And yeah, I am a little bit worried that after the president, the Iranian Putin, my brother, thank you so much for being on the stream. It's always a pleasure when you hop in, man. I love that. I love your name too. You know, your name is freaking awesome. Oh, thank you so much for that too. Well, there you go. The Iranian Putin came on to bless us all. He's a regular here on the channel and a regular. I love seeing him on here, man. He brings the joy. Thank you so much, Putin, the Iranian Putin. But yeah, we were discussing the fact that some people jumped on that bandwagon, and the world kind of did split for a matter of years because of this, guys. A lot of people were thinking we were going into a second Cold War, but if we can nick this one in the butt in this moment, I don't think it's going to be turning into another Cold War and lasting hate between our countries. Iranian Putin, you know I love you, brother. We're going to continue watching another portion of this because it gets hilarious. It gets hilarious. Please stay tuned. We're gonna continue with the show here. Continue watching the mess that is President of Ukraine Zelensky. Here we go. And by the way, I think it's fair now to call, I think it's fair now that he's exposed, that the people actually never forget what he did to the world. He almost brought the world to World War III. And actually, under this president in Ukraine, an American citizen was killed in Ukraine. Gonzalo Lira was absolutely jailed and killed by the Ukrainians. And there has been nothing said about that. But when this is over, I hope the United States can have a little bit of decency and really investigate what happened in Ukraine, because absolutely disastrous. A lot of Americans were imprisoned by the Ukrainians, man. It is a scary place. And I think that I'm a living testimony, like me living in Russia as a Marine veteran and having said all of the things that I've said, because I've said whatever I wanted, but I was never jailed in Russia, knock on wood. But what happened to the Americans in Ukraine was atrocious.
And people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire, all of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it.
It's hard to listen to him, but he's saying that Russia reneged on their deals, but that's not true. Okay, if you know history, it's literally he's explaining and projecting what Ukraine did. Ukraine did not follow any of the damn rules, and it didn't follow anything that it signed. And furthermore, it threatened the peace of Russia by being a violent neighbor. And you know that the conflict was not in 2022. You know that since 2014, Ukraine has been shelling its own people in Donetsk. And we can speak about it now. And we should never stop speaking about this, because this should have really never happened. If Ukraine was a normal country that respected its people, but you know how long those people in Donetsk have been suffering. The people in eastern Ukraine, they've been suffering for decades by now. Absolutely horrible. Plumber Pilot says, thank you for mentioning the name of the American that was killed. I'm an American combat veteran, and the propaganda over the last years has been ridiculous. My brother, I appreciate your donation. I have a very big part of my heart for the veterans of the United States and here in Russia, because again, it might hurt a lot of feelings. It might hurt a lot of feelings, but I am married to a Russian woman. My kids will be probably born in Russia. And my heart is I have a heart that is for both the Russians and the Americans and the Mexicans. And that hurts a lot of feelings, but it's the truth. I would never betray my wife. So, by the way, somebody said hello from Novosibirsk. Здравствуйте. Добро пожаловать. Да. Kukishini. Welcome, my friend. Yes, so we're going to continue looking at this. And I know I go off the cuff and I go crazy sometimes, but it's not that I'm a pro-Russian person. I'm not a Z warrior. I'm not a heretic. I'm just a person who is a realist person. My battery's low. Yikes. So we have okay. My battery is pretty low on this. We've streamed for quite a while. I would really appreciate it if you guys I would really appreciate, guys, if you guys went to see my most recent video, please. And yeah, this is me. Yes, Blaze from Yekaterinburg. Guys, my battery is low. This has been an awesome stream. Please go look at my most recent video. Like and subscribe. Share my videos. I appreciate it, guys. I'm going to have to log off. I'm sorry.